Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning into Faith Fuel Devotionals, the place where we use the Bible to try to reach biblical destinations in our lives. I hope you're on the right path. I hope you're feeling well today. Today we're studying James chapter number 3, verse 17 and 18. In James chapter 3, he's dealing with two big ideas, the power of the tongue and the power of wisdom. And there's no coincidence. These two truths are bumped up next to each other. Think about it. The tongue is a powerful weapon that we have to either hurt or to bless. And what does that have to do with wisdom? Well, it's our tongue that we use. It's the words that we use. It's our speech that is used and needs to be used wisely for our relationships. Yes, we need wisdom for situations. Yes, we need wisdom for trials and tribulations. But mainly, we need wisdom for our relationships. And this wisdom that comes out of our mouth ought to be used to bless and to help and to grow people, not to tear down. It ought to be used to edify and build up. And so that's what we're talking about. Now, we've been looking at, this is our third installment about wisdom here. Go back and look at the other ones if you haven't seen them. The first question we had was, what is wisdom? The second question, what is false wisdom? And we saw that. And today, what is this true wisdom that the Lord is talking about? How do we attain that? Let's look at verse 17 and 18 of chapter 3. It says, "But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, and then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and of good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Then the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace." A couple things I want to get across to you about this. Hope it'll be a blessing to you. The first one is the source. Notice there in verse number 17 where it says, this wisdom is from above. It's from above. And that is contrasting this earthly wisdom that we saw in verse 15 that was described as earthly, sensual, and devilish. And what's he saying here? Here's what he's saying. He's saying there is God's wisdom and there is man's wisdom. Man's wisdom comes from himself. God's wisdom obviously comes from God and the Bible. Those are the sources of wisdom, and you're only going to be getting your wisdom from one of those two sources. Either you're going to look to yourself or look to some other man or person or earthly creature to find your wisdom, or you're going to get your instruction and knowledge and understanding and wisdom from God. And that's really what this is all about. Who are you getting your wisdom from? So you have a relationship with someone. Maybe your relationship needs to be blessed. Maybe I'm talking about a husband-wife relationship. Maybe I'm talking about a parent-child relationship. Maybe I'm talking about family members. Maybe I'm talking about church members. I don't know. But I guarantee that you probably have a relationship out there that probably could need some help. Maybe it's really bad. Maybe it's okay, but it could be better. You need wisdom for your relationships, and you have to make sure that you're getting your wisdom from above, the source, all right? And remember back to James 1:5, which is a great verse where it says, "If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, not man, of God, to give it to all men liberally or freely, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him." That's the source. And then we get into the second part of this, which is the evidence. And we saw this also in the previous episode, the evidence of the earthly wisdom. And it had a bunch of negative things. And this one has the things that you want to come out. So this is what you should be looking for if you're trying to build positive relationships. And again, that's either maintaining relationships between Christians, maintaining relationships between family members, or maybe trying to win somebody to Christ. This is how you know God's wisdom is coming out of you. It's first pure, verse 17. It's peaceable. It's gentle. It's easy to be entreated. It's full of mercy and good fruits, without hypocrisy and without partiality. That's how you know, that's the evidence, that's the test of whether or not your wisdom is right. Now let's think about these things. So again, if I'm getting my encouragement and wisdom from God, then the things I'm going to be saying will first be pure. Do you speak pure things? The word pure means clean. It means holy. It means without reproach. You know, if somebody comes to you and says, I'm really having a problem with another person in my life, a coworker maybe or something, and they're just treating me bad, what should I do? And your advice is, well, Why don't you just punch him in the face? Okay, that's not a pure piece of wisdom. You know that that's not coming from above, because God says we're not supposed to do violence or do harm to one another. We're supposed to love one another. You would know it, well, if somebody's doing me wrong, well, you should do them wrong. Okay, that's not what the Bible says. The things that are going to come out of your mouth in your relationship and the wisdom that comes out of you, if it's coming from God, will first be pure, then peaceable. That means it's going to get along with people. That means it's not going to try to stir up war and conflict. It's not going to do things that harm. It's going to do things that heal and help, peaceable. And then after that, it says it's going to be gentle, not harsh, not rough, not mean, gentle with one another. The word gentle means to be appropriate or to be mild and patient. After, also, it's going to be easy to be entreated. What does that mean? That means somebody can come to you and you're not going to blow up on them. You're easy to be entreated. You're easy to be talked to. You're easy. If somebody brings a complaint or if somebody brings a concern, you're not going to go Pompeii on them because of that. You're easy to be talked to. That's heavenly wisdom. Next one after that one is full of mercy and good fruits. It means you're full of pity. You're going to be helping people. You're going to try to bless people and help them. Fruit has this idea of to give nourishment to. You're going to be nourishing your relationships. People are going to be blessed by their encounter with you. Without partiality, you don't play favorites. Go back to James chapter 2. We talked a lot about partiality. You're not supposed to play favorites because somebody's rich or somebody's poor or somebody looks nice or somebody doesn't. You're supposed to treat everybody equally and fairly at the beginning of the relationship. You're not supposed to judge on outward appearances. And then also, you're supposed to be without hypocrisy. You're not saying one thing to one person and then doing the complete opposite thing to another person. You're the same no matter who you're around. That's heavenly wisdom. That's the evidence. Is that what's coming out of your mouth? Are those the attitudes and motives you have? This is what we know about true wisdom. And then lastly here, we see the source, we see the evidence, and lastly we see the result in verse 18. And there it talks about the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace. And it has this aspect of sowing and reaping. If you sow righteousness, you're going to reap righteousness. If you sow peace in your life, you know what you're going to sow? Peace. If you're sowing chaos and you're sowing unrighteousness, don't be surprised when you reap that. And if you're reaping these things, look back. Have I sown this? Okay, if you're getting chaos, has there been a time in your life where you are reaping chaos? If you're getting evil done to you, has there been a time when you were doing evil? Think about it. This is all a big cycle that God has. Read about it in Galatians chapter 6. Some people complain, well, nobody likes me. Well, the people that often say nobody likes me are people that are very unlikable towards others. Look back on yourself. Don't complain about your situation. Look back and see, am I starting this? Am I sowing this? We're supposed to be sowing righteousness and sowing peace, and that's what this wisdom will do, and you will reap it too. And just remember, friend, Matthew chapter 5, verse number 9, Jesus said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be the children of God." They shall be called the children of God. People know who you are. People can see clearly what you believe when this sort of wisdom is coming out of you. Are you for peace? Are you for love? How's that tongue? How's those words that you speak? Are they speaking true wisdom or are you speaking false wisdom? Hope this has been a help to you. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. God bless you.